Hello, my name's Jackie James, and today I want to talk about adapting treatments for stress. Well, the first thing to think about is, what does stress do to the body? If you think about fight or flight, so if you're in a life-threatening situation, your body closes down those areas of the body that it doesn't need. So instead of providing your digestive system with lots of blood, it sends that blood to the muscles and the heart so that you're ready to fight or run away. Now, most of us are not spending our lives in fight or flight, but what we are doing is spending our lives in constant stress. And quite often people don't realise how stressed they are until they actually stop and maybe have a reflexology treatment. So what happens in constant stress, instead of your digestive system having a really good blood supply to digest your food, it doesn't have a great good blood supply. And that means that stress often gives people problems with their digestive system, with their stomach, with their colon, with things like IBS. Another thing stress does is make you wake up in the middle of the night or not get to sleep at all, and so you're constantly tired. Or what it can do is it can affect your skin. So again, it's that same thing about the blood supplies going to the muscles and the heart, and the skin isn't quite getting enough um, blood supply, so it's not in great condition, and you may have breakouts or problems with the skin. It could be skeletal. So if you're very stressed, people tend to hunch their shoulders. So they might find that they've got lots of issues with their shoulders or their lower back, and it is just stress related. So when we're adapting treatments for stress, the first thing we think about is give the client a really relaxing treatment and work the adrenals and solar plexus really well. So that is your go-to those are your go-to reflexes for stress. But actually, it's more complex than that. You have to think about how the client is affected by the stress. So if the client has IBS when they're stressed, as well as the adrenals and the solar plexus, you're going to be wanting to work the whole of the digestive system and a lot of attention on the colon, because actually that's where people get a lot of symptoms. And I like actually working the colon as a whole. So I start on the right foot, I work all the way up, across and down, and that is a really useful way of working the colon. In fact, somebody who is very stressed and has digestive problems, instead of working the right foot first and then the left foot, I'll tend to work the feet together. So toes, toes, ball of foot, arch foot, and then the whole of the digestive system at the same time. I find that works better. Or you can actually just add in the whole of the colon at the end of your treatment. If they have problems with skin, again, we start with the solar plexus and the adrenals. But for skin, we want to add in the organs of elimination. So that's getting things out of the body, it's getting toxins out of the body. So the colon is actually, again, it's one of the most important reflexes of skin, but also the liver, the kidneys to a lesser extent, but also the lungs. And if you've maybe had a curry the night before, sometimes you can still smell a little bit of curry breath in the morning before you've done your teeth. And that is one of the ways the body gets rid of toxins. It's just one of the elimination methods. Let's say somebody has stress and they have really bad shoulders and lower back. Well, again, you'll work not only the shoulders and the lower back area on the feet or the hands, but you'll work the nerve supply that serves those areas. So go back and look at your dermatomes and see which nerve supplies that area. If they're suffering from insomnia, you want a really, really relaxing treatment, but actually here aftercare advice can be really good for your client. So NHS Choices has got lots of different things for people to try, and it can be helpful if you just talk over some of those things with them and get them to maybe try one or two things after each treatment and see how that goes. Once you've got them less stressed, then the pineal is a really useful reflex. This actually resets your body rhythm. So it's really good with things like someone's got jet lag to help you get back on this time zone. So sometimes people will still be waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning with insomnia, but actually their stresses have been reduced, but their body is just used to waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning. So then the pineal is really useful to reset that biorhythms, reset the internal clock. So however the stress is affecting the client, it's really important to find that out, and that's where you focus in on your treatment. So I hope that's been helpful. Thank you.